Hi, Cancer. This is Genevieve with Belladonna and Moonbeams. How are y'all doing? I'm doing really well. And this is a reading for May 24th through May 30th, 2021. And I have, my nose itches. I've learned a few things this last week. Well, some of them I already knew, but I'm kind of really getting to know them. So I had someone in my life that was throwing shade. She threw shade on me. She threw shade on everybody. Nothing was ever her fault. For the longest, I actually believed her because she wasn't throwing shade at me, of course. But then she started throwing shade at me. And what she would do is she would take a little bit of truth with a big lot of lies. And it was all about not her fault. I got to tell you, when someone does not want to accept responsibility for their own fault and throw shade to avoid it, run away from those people. Also, if you find yourself doing that, ask yourself why you're falling into that trap. Because in reality, we should be able to acknowledge, yeah, I screwed up, so what? But when you throw shade when it's his fault, her fault, whatever, you've got a problem. Just saying. And I started to really see that. I'm like, wait, if she's lying about me, why could she have lied about all this other stuff? And I was like, dude, that's really big. Also, it made me realize that I know I don't want my day job. I mean, I knew I didn't want it, but I really know it now. Because that kind of negativity, I don't need that in my life. So, now to go on to the reading, we get the Knight of Swords. This card, see, he's rushing off to win. So you're trying to solve things too quickly. Slow it down. Slow it down. And ask yourself, is this really what I want? Or do I want to just take my time and write a list and have yes, no's, and maybes and figure out what's really the right choice instead of rushing to solve it? Also, you got to choose. See, she's got a blindfold on and she's got these choices. And she's like, I don't want to choose. No. By not choosing, you're choosing. So what I'm seeing here is that you're fluctuating, and we all do this. You're fluctuating between wanting to hurry in and get it out of the way and between not wanting to choose at all. Neither one of those is going to serve you. Really and truly, for both of them, write a list. Figure out the pros and the cons of a situation and make a choice. Don't put a blindfold on and just let things happen. Don't rush into it without seeing the choices. And then we get the ships coming in card. So you're waiting for things to come into you. And I think that's part of putting your blindfold on, that you're wanting to deal with a situation from a total emotional, visceral place. And by doing that, you're not evaluating what you need to know. Now we get the Queen of Swords. This card is telling you that you need to, once again, it's all about evaluation. Whatever is going on in your life, you're just not necessarily wanting to see that. And the Queen of Swords is very dry, a energy that's very dry, non-emotional, and yet you've been dealing totally with emotion. So this card is saying, slow down, and evaluate it from a logical perspective. Also, we get the Priestess. When you get the Priestess is about finding out where you need to go spiritually. So you've got all these choices, but you're not looking at it from a spiritual perspective. You're looking at it like, is this what I need to do? Is this my right choice? But you haven't gone to spirit about it. You haven't gone to your spirit guides and said, hey man, what's happening here? What's the best choice for me? And then we get the Eight of Wands. And this card is about looking outside of the box, looking outside the forest for the trees. I know, totally messed up my metaphors there. But it's really and truly thinking creatively, because he's got all these things coming at him, or she does, and she's like, stop, just stop. So the overall takeaway from this, and normally, I don't say the normal takeaway from this, but I see them all tying together. And when I see them all tying together is that right now you're dealing from a position of down in your visceral area. You're like, ugh, and you're not being logical. And you've got the capabilities. You're smart enough to do it. And you're going to start seeing things happen from these things, but is it going to serve you? And the other thing it's saying is wait for things to come to you, and study spiritually. I know spiritually is not always where you want to go from here, but in reality, this is what you need to be doing right now. Take some time and meditate. Take some time and hear your voice. Hear what you need to be doing. Ask your spirit guides, is this really what I need to do? Now I'm going to pull a card from the Earth Magic Oracle deck. And we get Ebb and Float. And I think that really does apply, even though it doesn't honestly seem like it, because all of these things are saying that you need to stop and look at things logically. You need to stop and evaluate. You need to make choices, not just let shit happen to you. And that's what ebb and flow is. If you've ever watched the tide come in, it comes in, and all the waves are coming at you. And then later when it goes out, they're all going out. I can tell you, when that wave goes out, I had fallen on my butt when the sand went right out from under my feet. And if you don't stop and get your balance, if you don't stop and see where you need to be, you can fall on your butt because that sand is just washed out from under your feet. Namaste, y'all. If you want to do a private reading, send me a text to 405-512-9400. And of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel.